So you know that video that every YouTuber that has any kind of following has made? The one that every man and their dog's made? Yeah, that's right, I'm going to make one as well. So today's video, guys, we're going to have a high damage guide. Now this is I called it a high damage guide rather than a 4K guide because this will help anyone that's going for a damage badge, whether that's 2K, 2.5K, 3K or 4K. Now in the background gameplay, I'm playing Gibraltar, who I like to say is one of my mains now because I play him a lot in ranked basically, and I've just used him enough to actually learn to use him very well. So in this game I managed to get kind of like just under 5K, I think it is, like 4.8, 4.7, something like that. But the best thing about it was the way I played it. Now I wanted to get a gameplay that showed off the tips that I was kind of saying, and this was perfect. Towards the end of the game is the main bit, so I'll obviously break it down. I'll be chatting in the background the whole time, but make sure you actually watch the gameplay rather than just listen to me because it really will help you. And yeah, key points, I'll let you know what's going on. So we'll start off here. I have a few first things to know, and yeah, some of these you might not like, but yeah, basically there's two ways to get the damage badge on this game. One, you play very aggressively and just go for kills, or two, you kind of do what I did mid-game in this game and you just farm damage from long range. Now, it's very easy to farm damage from long range. You don't have to push everyone. I'd say if you're a less confident player, then you're better to farm damage from range with a sniper, a scout, an anvil receiver like I did. And yeah, obviously I've had a few 20s and I've had many 4Ks, and they've all come in different ways, but yeah, you gotta find the one that you'd like. Now there's damage counter in the top right, just another little tip. Always just keep track of that. It'll help you out with deciding how much you need to fight and things like that, but we'll go over that later. When I use the term farming, if you don't know what that means, it is when say there's two teams on a building across from each other. If you get one low, instead of jumping on them straight away, let them heal up a little bit and just do it again. That's kind of what farming is. If there's a last team left, for example, instead of just if you knock one, for example, just let him get up, let him heal, farm another 200 damage off him. You see what I mean? That's what it comes down to. Next one is you need to be able to hit your shots. Now this is getting a 4K. It's not for everyone. If you're not that good at hitting shots, then if you're like me with the wingman in the background right now, yeah, missing all 4 shots, then it might not be for you. It does involve a bit of luck, but there's a lot of skill there as well to earn the 4K badge. Now, if you're going for the 2K badge, I mean, still you've got to hit your shots. And as you can see in the background, I actually managed to get like 200 damage from punching people this game. So, you know, anything's possible. Yeah, and the last thing I was going to mention is I kind of already mentioned it anyway, but if you this doesn't have to be for the 4K badge. If you have a 2K badge and you watching this to get a 4K, go for the 3K first. There's you know, stepping stones. You don't have to go to the maximum first. Work your way up, and you'll get better along the way. And the final thing is, a lot of people don't actually know this, but if a player's knocked, even if you didn't knock them, there's 100 damage up for grabs right there. Always finish your kills if you have a safe way to do it, and also finish other people's kills. Even if your teammate knocked them, finish that kill because it'll add 100 damage. So if you get 10 kills in the game, that's 1,000 damage right there from just finishing players. So yeah, that is my just first few little tips, and maybe they'll help someone out. The next thing I want to go over is a few different sections that I've just kind of put together, and we're going to start off with weapons and inventories kind of section. So when it comes down to weapons, a lot of the time it's going to be what you're more comfortable with. In this game, I do end up rocking the R301 and a flatline. Now, for me, that's a good short and long range kind of just a setup. That's what you want to go for, in my opinion. Something like a R301 for long range and a Mastiff or a flatline. You can change it up. If you like a triple take and an R99, that can work for you. I mean, it's just whatever you're used to. There's a few guns I'd recommend, and as I mentioned a few already, the R301, the G7 Scout, the R99, the 30-30 repeater, triple take, and the flatline. They're all pretty meta guns, apart from 30-30, but it's good. You can also grab a sniper if you want a long range gun. If you're good with certain guns like a sentinel, then hit people in the face with a sentinel, up to you. The reason you want long and short range guns are for long range is the damage and the farming, as I mentioned earlier. You need that distance to get the kill, to get damage without needing to panic and get killed and, you know, get third partied easily. And The short range one is one because Apex has a lot of short range kind of things going on. That's why I like the 301 so much. It's so versatile in most situations. And the close range gun is for finishing people. Obviously earlier I said you need to finish as many people as you can, and yeah, it's having a 9 or flatline or mastiff, it will really it will speed up them finishing things, and sometimes that can be the difference between getting kind of 3 and 4k, say. So the next one I want to go over is your drop location and the way that you rotate from where you drop. Now, this game in the background is probably not the best kind of way that I ran, because I think I actually went the same way. I went through one way, then came back. But yeah, to be honest, I didn't know what was going to go on at the start of this game. I'm 5 kills in with a K, and I was thinking, this is no chance. This is probably a 2k max. And yeah, you'll see that I managed to kind of farm like 1,000 damage from just an anvil receiver at one point, I think. We'll actually look at it in a minute, and see how much I do end up getting. But yeah, anyway, back to the actual point of this video. So dropping your drop location and map rotation. So you want to drop somewhere where there's going to be people at. You just try and fight at least one squad, and you need to kill and or do the damage for the majority of them kills. You want to come out of at least 500 damage, is what I always say. You're going to find another team soonish, hopefully, and I'd always recommend just rotating to popular POIs. So, for example, I landed at the fighting ring on this. Is it called the fighting ring? The boxing ring. I landed at the boxing ring. I took out a couple people, and then I rotated towards estates. Found a team between estates and the fighting ring. Sorry, oh my god, the boxing ring, and killed that team as well. And then I ended up getting to near Hammond Labs and at the top, and everyone knows this is kind of the central hub of the map. A lot of people get attracted to this area because it's open and the shooting just seems to go everywhere. And I found a team inside this building, and this was kind of the third-ish team that I found. I got very lucky here. The teammate actually came in and kind of saved my life. I mean, I got this guy pretty much one, he got me one. Teammate runs in and eventually kills him. I just seeing how far away he actually was. It took a while to react, and he does kill him. But yeah, so in this situation, I did need a teammate, and he did help in that situation. So what I'll come to later is discussing that a bit more. But yeah, you want to have just rotate as smart as you can and try and hit the bigger POIs. So from here on out on this gameplay, you'll see that I just use an anvil receiver a hell of a lot. And when I say farming, this is really what I mean. So what if you watch the gameplay from kind of this perspective now? This is what you want to be aiming to do as much as you possibly can. Now I see a team down on this roof here that don't know what they're doing. They don't know if they want to take the zip line or not. This guy tries it. I almost crack him, I think, and then he just jumps. And then I just proceed to keep doing it for a long time. I honestly think I got about maybe even 1,000 damage on that Octane that just jumped off. I mean, I got 110 there, and I'm sure I crack him another like 3 times or something. So I probably get easy 500 damage just off that one person, and I don't know if I eventually kill him or not, to be honest. But I'm keep going off topic here. But yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that everyone's watching the gameplay and not just listening to me, because the gameplay really will help. Yeah, it really will help you. It was a very good game to show off what I mean and what I'm explaining. But yeah, that's what it comes down to on the drop hot. I mean, try and drop as hot as you can and somewhere that you're familiar with, and try and get at least 500-ish early damage, I'd say, but the more the better. If you can get near 1,000, then you are very much on target for a good game. And yeah, the last thing I will mention is height. You can really assist in like your positioning. I mean, and height-wise, kind of really assist in getting damage. To be honest, I'm on height on this area here. I try and stay up here as long as I can. I do stay up here as long as I can, as you'll see. I don't want to leave this location because I have the height and I have the advantage on kind of like all the teams around me at that point. So you want to try and keep height as much as you can, or keep a very popular area. As you can see, they try and get up to me again here, and the anvil kind of does some big work for me. I didn't kill either of them. The teammate does knock one, but I just did a lot of damage, and then we ended up jumping on this team and come back up. But yeah, I'm just trying to say, yeah, map rotations, and yeah, try and keep height if you can at all times. So the third thing I'll mention is decision making. Now this is huge, this one. It comes down to, this is the difference a lot of the time in people managing to kind of stay calm and keep their composure while actually being on high damage. At this point I'm on 2.5k, and I'm just thinking, right, if I can kill this team, I should be at 3k, and then from there on out it should be easy. That's what I was going through my head at this point. Now, you need to try and think like that all the time. Don't think, oh, I'm going to die here or anything like that. To be honest, I'm very close to dying in a minute. But not at one point did I think, oh, I'm going to die here. You got to keep your confidence going and just, you know, have the confidence that you need to kill them. I mean, I hit these people, these two loads. I cracked them a couple times, and I just went out, tried going up, and I almost get smashed. But yeah. But what I mean by decision making is, for example, if I get an early knock on someone, there was a couple times early in this game where I got a knock on someone, but I decided not to push them because one, it could be an easy third party for someone else, or I can let them res and can take the damage off them. This one didn't happen too much in this game. I think it might happen once, but this is where I almost die here. But yeah, sometimes it is better not to. I'm very lucky to survive that. That was kind of the turning point of this game, that I survived that. And yeah, so next thing is on this, on your decision making, it's just like, it kind of comes into rotations. You got, I made the decision really early in this game to just keep this height, and well, in this area, to keep the height here, and I just kept hitting people every now and again, and just doing big damage. I started off here, I think I got under about 1200 damage in this area now, so yeah, as I said earlier, I don't want to keep looking at it as I was going. And yeah, sometimes also running is the best way to preserve your life. Now, a lot of people say, oh, don't run away from fights, you're a pussy or whatever. Don't listen to people like that. It's never, you never hear good players say that. It's very, very rare. It's always two people on a team that want to run away because they know they're actually reading the game properly. And you get this random guy that normally plays kind of like Mirage or something, and he's there saying, no, we need to fight this team, and yeah, he normally just dies and then he complains, leaves the game. That's how it goes. But sometimes running away is the way to go. There's a couple times that I decide to not fight and run in this game and just stay quiet. More towards the end, you'll see that. But it really does help. If I didn't do this, then I would have been focused by the team that had two people at the end, and I would have died. I mean, I would have got the... I mean, yeah, it's not about that. I wouldn't have won the game, so that's what it comes down to. So the last thing on this point in decision making is the knowledge that you need to work out from the teams left versus the damage you have. Now, towards mid game to end game, you can assume that everyone has about 200 health, and if you manage to finish the kill and get that extra 100, then you get 300 damage. But I like to assume that everyone has 200 health at this point of the game when there's kind of half people left. Everyone should have purples or maybe even reds. So you got to do the maths in your head a little bit and just work out what's going on. So I have 5 squads in the top right here, and I'm at 3k. In my head here, I'm like, right, I should easily have this. I've farmed thousands of damage off one team a few times. Now I know that it's not going to be the worst thing possible, but the worst thing I'm looking at is that I'm not in the ring and there's 2 teams on my left. In a minute, I do get hit quite low, and I do decide to actually make a run for the other side in a minute. And that was it's a lot of decision making. This is why I wanted to use the gameplay, and I don't want to cut this gameplay down. It's going to be a long video, this, but if someone ends up watching it all, I feel like they could learn a lot from it. Now, obviously, I've put the bubble down there. I've got a bat off. I've got a med kit off, and I see this team just padding over to the left. I've managed to get like not much damage on them, but a little bit. And yeah, every little helps there. And then I realised that they're going to probably come up behind me. That's going to be their end goal here, to probably come up behind and or maybe even go through Turbine. I can't remember what they actually did, to be honest. But they were always going to do one of them 2 things, so it was time for me to go. Now I had to try and push up towards this this area. I knew the team were here that I was shooting at now, and they might push me, but it was the risk I had to take. It was either them come up behind me and I risk that, or I just run and try my best to actually stay over here. Now, there's a few different decision-making points I make in this that, you know, some of them could have been better maybe. Yeah, I got an early bubble here, and I kind of assume that they're going to push me. I was just making sure no team is behind me there. And then I seen that Octane's padded towards me, so I just try and get up a bit so I have a bit more height advantage on him by the time he gets to me. Then I can easily turn around, and I think I absolutely destroy him actually as well. So I think that's the Mirage I hit for 20. Then Octane I get down there, so that's an easy 200 damage. I think I could try and finish him, and then he puts his gold shield up. And then, to be honest, this decision I made here, the Mirage ended up just rezzing him. Now, somehow my ult didn't even actually do any damage to them, I don't think, which is kind of unbelievable. It was a good choice to ult there, but somehow didn't hit the Mirage, so maybe not the best ult. But that was a good little moment in the game. Easy 260, I think it was, damage overall. And then they've just gone back, they've reset, and I'll see them again at some point in the game. And there we go, also get another 40, 50, 60 there. So there we go, there's an extra 360 damage from me not putting myself in too much danger. Now I could have pushed that Octane, but I decided not to. I quickly grabbed a bat here, and because it's there. And then here is a big decision making area, because there's two options you can have here. You can choose to fight. Now I go to pick my bat up and I realize that there's a team just there. So I make a quick decision to run over here and use their pad. Now I seen them use it earlier, so I remembered it was there. And if I didn't do this, you know, I would have been probably crushed between two teams as Gibby, and you probably don't get out of there. Gibby's a big guy. But yeah, I get out of there. So that was just that simple little Octane pad that wasn't even on my team. Like, I did have an Octane, but it wasn't his. It probably saved my life in that situation as well, and that's just one of them quick decision making things that you've got to try and learn. I pick a kill there, I get 35 damage on someone, then realise that team are back again. This team were just the bane of my life the whole game, and I think they were the last team alive as well. So the next thing, 4 of the 5 sections. I mean, yeah, I'm on the 4th one, that's right. So teammates. Now I debated with myself about this one. Do you want teammates while you're doing this or not? This game was actually in duos. Now, I'd recommend doing duos or trios, up to you. Duos are easier to carry, and I find it sometimes easier, but you do sometimes get the sweatier players in duos also. At this point in the game, by the way, I know I keep kind of changing, but I have 40 ammo in the 301, and I don't actually find any light ammo for the rest of the game, so I'm just all I have is flatline towards the end, and it does become a bit of a tight squeeze to get the kills and stuff. But yeah, just making sure you know that. So I have at this point I have like 60 bullets left, and just hoping that I find some light ammo really. But back to my teammates. It's one of these things that's completely up to you. In this game I had a teammate, and at one point, as you've seen earlier at the top of where Hammond Labs is, he don't know if he saved my life. I mean, I got out of it and might have got a bat off, might have killed him, but he was there to kill the guy. Now if you're playing on your own, you don't have friends to play with, then I'd recommend either trying to play solo, or actually I'd recommend probably getting a teammate. Most of the time teammates will be better, they will assist you in some way. The only issue you can have is if you're trying to farm some damage. They might, if one of you get a knock, they might jump in and be a bit too aggressive and take the kills, and you could have took like 500 damage from them. So that's the issue. The communication is kind of the key thing if you have a teammate. If you have a friend that's willing to help you, grab that friend straight away, and just because you can communicate what you're doing. If you're happy to sit somewhere and just do damage to people, you can both do that, and you won't get someone push in and someone doing something else. This bit of the game here is another kind of decision making point. It's in a tough situation because there's a team either side of me. There's a team on the far right as I was shooting just now, and I know that there's a Revenant and a Octane over here as well. Now I get up here and I'm not sure what the Octane is doing there. A little crouch, he threw his pad just before. I should have knocked him there, but I missed a few shots and I bubbled and got a bat off because to be honest I wasn't sure if the other team were going to push. They should have pushed at this point, but they chose not to. I hopped over the wall and I think I just got a knock on the Octane here. They revolted. So I shot the crap out of both of them and didn't quite kill them, but I just wanted to try and get a knock before I did anything. I did a 120 to someone there, the 301, the last 15 bullets, I did manage to get a knock. Now, that knock there was very important, but this is the bit where I hear the other team coming. Now, a lot of the time you could see someone run in and just try and finish something else. Okay, maybe not. Maybe now I hear the team coming, and they didn't hear me shoot that flatline. Somehow they didn't. Somehow there's I think they're on the roof just in front of me. I do peek in a minute. I just swapped my sight there, and I decide here just to not shoot them. Now that decision in the end, it probably made it a lot easier for me to win this game. They finished the kill that I got. I'm already at kind of 4.4k at this point anyway. And I just switched the anvil to the only gun I had ammo in. So I completely let that team chase the other team down because they had no idea that I was there. And once again, decision making wise, that was absolutely played perfect by me, as I don't want to blow my own trumpet too much, but there's nothing else I could have done here. I'm walking here and crouching because it makes your footsteps quieter. If someone has a good mic, and they could probably hear me from the center of estates, so I decided to crouch, just play it safe, and eventually it does pay off. So yeah. So the last bit is my last point, my 5th point, was endgame. Now, endgame, a lot of the time, this endgame here didn't work out the same as most endgames do, but this was quite a close range one. But a lot of endgames are where you can rack up the most of damage. Now, endgames you have normally 2 or 3 teams. If you have 2 teams that can just shoot each other across buildings for kind of 5 minutes or a couple minutes in a ring, you can do big damage there. That you can easily farm like 1,000 damage off one team. It's not even difficult to do. Just take notice of what I do here. I do actually hide in a room and sit here for a while, and I have kind of not enough heals is the answer. But I play very patient with this, and I hear an Octane come near me. I'm not sure if it's the solo Octane or it's the... Oh no, I think the Octane actually died. It was a Rev, I think. I don't know if it was the solo or the duo, is what I'm trying to get at, so I don't want to kind of fight anyone. And eventually you'll see that I just don't fight until right at the end. But yeah, just wanted to mention that. Just keep watching the gameplay. But yeah, endgame has high potential to get high damage. Now in this gameplay it doesn't work out like that, but a lot of the time you can do a lot of the farming. My farming was done mid-game, as you've seen from that top thing. I went from like 1.5k to 3k just sitting at the top of Hammond Labs. Now that was the kind of key point of this game. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have had near the damage I have. And that's what it comes down to. But the farming has to happen at some point in the game because it's very, very difficult. I mean, getting 4k from just killing people is like 20 kills, and that's 20 kills with doing all the damage to every kill, which is very, very unlikely if you have teammates. So endgame is a very, very high potential place for high damage, and I'd really recommend just trying to sit back and shoot teams rather than pushing them. Let them heal up, let them res if you have to. If you want a 4k badge, you don't have to win the game. I mean, don't even think about it too much. As you see, I ult there. This is where the game actually ends here. But I ult there and I knocked the Octane that was on the roof, and then I managed to get this guy with a flat line at the end with my last like 2 clips. So it was a good game. It was a very, very good game there. I enjoyed the game a lot, so that is why I decided that I should probably use this one to upload. And I know it's been a long ass video, but I mean, I hope you actually learned something. I wasn't going to go over the gameplay, I was going to just whack out a load of tips as I go, but I thought I'd do a long ass video and just kind of show this off. My Octane guy, Guest Llama, he added me as a friend after this. He must have loved that game. I got him a nice win. There you go, he invited me to a party in a game. But yeah, I got 11 kills, 3 assists, 7 knocks, and 4.7k damage. Now, there we go. That's pretty much the end of it. I hope if you want to have if you have any questions, just let me know. I can try and answer them in comments. I've had many 4Ks, 5Ks, a couple of 6Ks even on this game, so I can help a lot of people out with the old tips and things like that. But what it comes down to a lot of the time is just keep playing, keep practicing, hitting your shots, and decision making. That's the main points here to take from this, but obviously I've broken down a bit more in the video. But cheers guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Peace out for now.